was gifted this cocktail book a little while ago. I haven't really looked at it yet, or I've had a little flip through, but I mean, I know all the, I used to work as a bartender, so I know most of these drinks already, but I figured it could be a fun little video to make, you know, and I'm also quite fond of paper sounds and page turning and all that stuff, so I figured that could be a nice little video. I'll be honest, it took me quite a while to set up the camera like this, though. I'm sitting kind of awkwardly, and I'm kind of looking through the monitor in the camera to look around, but we got there in the end, so we're fine. The sounds should be okay. I'm gonna turn the gain up just a smidge, I think. Maybe. Alright, so this book has a few different categories of drinks. It starts off with gin. I don't know if you can see that up there. So we're gonna start by looking through some gin drinks. I'm gonna go through some of them and let's just kind of see what I have to say about them, and then maybe in future I can do another video if people are interested in learning a little bit more, or if they just like this kind of video. So we're starting off with a Negroni. This book is in Norwegian, so but I can read you what it says. It says that the Negroni was invented in a bar called Casoni in Firenze around 1920. There was a regular there who was called Count Camillo Negroni, or Camillo Negroni probably. He asked for his Americano to be made with gin instead of soda, to make it a little bit stronger. Americano was, or is a drink rather, that uses just Campari and sweet vermouth and soda, some club soda, which means it's not a very strong drink. That's a pretty light drink, but Count Negroni wanted some more oomph, some more kick, you know, so they added the gin. And now, I think you can hear the train passing. Now this drink is a classic, and honestly one of the best drinks you can make, in my opinion. And it's very simple to make as well. You just need gin, Campari, and some sweet vermouth. That's the red kind of vermouth. You use the white one or the clear one for other things like martinis, which I'm pretty sure in a few pages we'll look at some martinis as well. And yeah, you just need equal parts of gin, Campari, and vermouth. Campari is an Italian aperitif, so quite a bitter liqueur, I suppose you call it. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with all the English vernacular for all the drinks, so bear with me there. But like I said, yeah, this is a classic. It's I like to make it with a little bit less Campari, like 1.5 part to the other 2 parts, just because I have a sweet tooth and I like it a little bit sweeter. But if you're ever going to make this drink yourself, I'd recommend trying to kind of experiment with the balance, because this drink is really, if you learn how to make this drink, it'll really teach you the fundamentals of making cocktails, which is the balance of flavors. So this will balance the boozy and the herbal from the gin, and it will balance the bitterness from the Campari and the sweetness from the vermouth. And together they form to make a very, very nice drink. Next is the gin Ricky. This is a drink I haven't drank that much really. It's it's pretty much just a gin and soda with a little bit of lime juice, but it's which I like. But usually I just call it a gin and soda because why get fancy? But I'll read you what it says here. This is one of the few classics where the origin was born. Gin Ricky is the most popular. It's a very nice presentation here with the highball glass and the lime wheels on the other. I mean, it's a nice drink, but it's very big. It's just gin and soda with a splash of lime. It's not that crazy. Here we go to a very nice drink. The gin julep is just a julep in general is a very nice drink. I think it's very popular in a mint julep, rather is what you normally call it. It's very popular. There's some kind of state in, I think it's Kentucky or something in America, where this drink is very popular. I might be entirely wrong about that, but you know, it's a very sweet. Sorry, that was my oven beside me here, cracking a little bit. It's quite a sweet, minty drink. I'll read what it says here. Julep is synonymous with a sweet drink, a variant of the Spanish julep, which means rosé water, apparently. The drink appeared already in Jerry Thomas's famous cocktail book from 1862, and is one of the oldest ways to drink gin. Large amounts of ice can easily be crushed in a food processor, and it just gives you instructions like keep crushing the ice until the bits are the size of peas. This is just a guide to how to make crushed ice. You can also just do it by hand, but anyways, this is a drink for me where the more mint you use, the better it will be, in my opinion, because I love mint in drinks. I love a mojito, I love a gin julep, I love a mint julep. I've made a julep with pretty much every kind of booze imaginable, and to me the minty, and you need fresh, really nice fresh mint as well. And it's a very, very nice summer drink, and if you have it, I definitely would serve it in these tumblers. So here we have probably my all-time favorite drink, the Dry Martini. I make it a little bit different than this, but I'll read about it. Now the author says this is also his favorite drink. There are a few other things that I've traveled the world to get a taste of, he says. Cool, sophisticated, and unique. There's no other drink that can measure. In my book, a dry martini must be stirred, and temperature and water are important ingredients. If the dry martini is not cold enough, it's not perfect. That is entirely true. If it's not diluted enough, it'll be too strong. But remember, 2 is too few, and 3 is too many. That's, so if you have 2 martinis, that's not enough, but 3 martinis is too many. So, a dry martini is gin, and some dry vermouth. And now, if you've ever heard of a martini, you've obviously heard of James Bond, and you know that he likes his martinis shaken and not stirred. But that's just, that is, to me, objectively the wrong way to do it. Because if you shake a martini, you'll end up breaking apart the ice cubes in your shaker, and you'll make all these tiny little ice shards, and they'll melt quicker. And if you shake your martini, it's going to be way too diluted. It's going to be watered down. But the theory goes that that's why James Bond wanted them stirred. It's because he wanted his drink to be watered down, so he didn't get too drunk, so he could, go fighting and be a spy and everything without being inhibited by alcohol. So the theory goes, anyways. I don't actually know. This guy is called Bodixstan, by the way. He's like a semi-famous bar person in Norway. I don't know. I don't really know that much about him. He has his own gin, which is actually quite good. but he makes it with 6-part gins to 1 part dry vermouth, with lemon peel and olives. I skip the olives. I'm not a huge fan. I've had it. It's okay, but if I want to make martini my way, I'll do, I guess I'll do, 3-to-1 ratio. I like a little bit more vermouth. I like it a little bit sweeter. But what he says about dilution and temperature is definitely true. You want to serve it in a chilled glass, preferably a glass that's been in the freezer. And you want to stir your drink for about 30 seconds or more, with a lot of ice to really, really chill it down. If you've ever had vodka, for example, or just straight up gin, or if you had straight up gin, just room temperature, it can be pretty boozy. It can be pretty, especially if you're not used to drinking just straight up spirits, it can be pretty punchy. But if you take gin from the freezer, there's no burn at all, So I'd recommend you try that to really see how important temperature can be when it comes to making drinks. Now we go to the Gibson, which is what he calls is a naughty cousin of the Dry Martini. They use pickled onions, like small onions. I don't know what they're called in English. I'm not a big fan of this. I don't think this is a very nice drink at all. But to each their own. It's apparently been drunk by Cary Grant in Hitchcock's North by Northwest, and Beth Harmon in the new Netflix series The Queen's Gambit. Apparently she drinks that. I haven't seen all of the Queen's Gambit yet, so I've only seen like the first few episodes, so I'll be on the lookout for this drink when I do eventually watch it. This is also one of my favorites, especially in the summer, a Basil Smash. I'm not sure how he makes it, but I'll read what he says about it. He says it's a modern classic made in 2008 by Jörg Meyer at the bar Le Lion Bar in Le Lion Bar de Paris in Hamburg. The drink was first called Gin Pesto and was inspired by the classic whiskey smash. Now, what makes this drink obviously is the basil leaves, and the most important thing in this drink, other than obviously the basil, is to have the right type of gin. You don't want a gin that is too herbal. I like to make it with just a pretty standard London dry gin, because if it's too herbal, or if it has the wrong herbs, it'll just conflict with the basil, and it won't, and usually they don't match, but if you find a herbal gin with the right herbs, or if you just find a neutral gin, then you can let the basil kind of speak for itself. So yeah, you use gin, some lemon juice, and some simple syrup to make this drink. You just shake it with some basil in your shaker, and you see this green color. This is all natural. It comes from the gin, from the basil leaves in the shaker. So you get that lovely natural green color, and if you have fresh basil leaves, it's very vibrant in person. So I definitely recommend making that in the summer. Gimlet, another fantastic drink, another classic in my books. Again, very, very simple. It's just some gin, some lime cordial, and a little bit of sugar if you want that. I actually make this without the sugar. I just use lime cordial, because usually lime cordial is quite sweet, and I think that works fine on its own. Described in 1928 as a gin with a splash of lime, and named after a small hand drill, apparently for its drilling effect, like it's drilling your brain or whatever, I suppose. The author Raymond Chandler gimlet was nothing more than 50-50 gin and rose's lime juice. That's a very popular cordial or syrup maker. They make like grenadine and cordials and stuff like that. But the author of this book recommends rather this version. Apparently it's very popular in the British Marine, also in the fight against Sherbet, which I believe this word means scurvy, but I'm not entirely sure. I think that's scurvy. The Clover Globin. This is very berry forward drink, also quite a nice one. This drink is so beloved that it has its own bar named after itself in New York. It's full of berry flavor, which works wonders with the botanical note from the gin, with egg white to give it a foamy effect. It can also be made with grenadine, it says. Now you use some raspberry syrup. You can also use like jam and stuff like this. You can use some dry vermouth if you want. Now the egg white, if you've not been near the drinks scene before, you might wonder what the egg white is for. Now, if you've ever made like meringues, for example, you know that when you whip just egg white, you get this white foamy stuff, and that's the same concept that we have on the top of the drink here. That you'll also get that, for example, if you order whiskey sour in most places. Some people will call that, a Boston sour, but I'm not going to get into it. If you order a whiskey sour somewhere, you'll likely also get this white foam. And essentially what happens is that you shake this foam, and from the friction of shaking it, along with the acidity from the lemon juice, you essentially cook the egg white, and that's how you get this foam. So typically you want to shake it without ice first, because obviously the ice will make it harder to get that chemical reaction, that cooking, because it'll cool it down too much. You'll still get a little bit of foam, but not as much as you want. Unless you don't want that much foam, that's up to you. But you shake it without ice first, and then with ice. And it gives you this lovely, first, obviously it looks nice with the foam on top of it, but mainly what you do it for is you make it for the mouthfeel. It gives you a very smooth, silky kind of mouthfeel in your mouth. Now this Ramos Gin Fizz, if you ask any bartender, or any bartenders who's had to make this, they'll tell you this is a bitch of a drink, which I'll agree with. Sorry, I had to cough there. Now, so you see, this drink is, I'm just going to read this and see what he says about it. The Fizz is a variation in the sour family, and this variant was made by Henry C. Ramos at the Imperial Cabernet Saloon in New Orleans. It was so popular that Ramos had to hire 20 bartenders just to make the drink, which is known for its long mixing time. Today it's known as one of the city's most famous cocktails, and that says a lot. That's what he says about it. And it's true, you need to shake this drink for a long time, because here you use the same concept that I talked about on the last one with the egg white, but you use it along with heavy cream, and that's when you get this really, really, really big foam. And this is not a lot of liquid in total to fill this much of a glass. A lot of this is foam, and it's very, very hard to make, and it takes quite a lot of time, and you have to shake quite vigorously for quite a long time. And the test to see if you've gotten the foam right is to, like he's done here, put the straw in the middle, and if the straw just stays, then you've done it right. It is a pretty nice drink, but like I said, it's quite a hassle to make. Let's do one more. Bramble. This is also a very classic drink. himself doesn't tolerate the vodka version, apparently. Neither do I, to be honest. That's not a very nice version of it. But this is a very berry-forward drink. You use crème de mûre, which is a liqueur from the berry that I talked about earlier that I don't know the name of. And you can use, other berries as well. And some people will pour a little bit of grenadine on there, maybe some crème de cassis. But yeah, very nice drink, very kind of sweet and refreshing. No, it's not refreshing. It's light and kind of summery. Martinez. This is actually a drink that I have not tasted or made. So let's read about it. Apparently, one of the drinks, the colorful Jerry Thomas invented himself, for a customer on his way to Martinez in Mexico. It's still made on the good old gin type, Old Tom. That's actually a very good gin, which is quite a lot sweeter than other gin. It's kind of a hybrid of a Manhattan and a Dry Martini, which it's considered a successor to. This is some Old Tom gin and some sweet vermouth, some maraschino and some Angostura bitters, and that sounds very nice. It does. It's very similar to like they say, is a hybrid between the Manhattan and Dry Martini. I'll have to make this myself once. I'm pretty fond of these, like, quite boozy drinks. Actually, let's end it there. Let's look at the bee's knees the next time, and we can maybe make a few videos to get our way through this book. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Essentially me just rambling and whispering about drinks for 20 minutes, but that's fine, hopefully. I hope you sleep well or have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you